Good evening. Welcome to the fifth week of the live interaction session for the course Multimodal Urban Transportation Systems. The instructor is Professor Orkopal Goswami, and I am Shankardeep Pramanik from IIT Kharagpur, a research scholar. So, like the previous week, we generally discuss in this live session about what has been taught in the week briefly, then we proceed to some question answers which are useful for solving the assignment problems. Also, these questions are important for from the exam perspective. So uh, in this week 5, we were discussing about NMT systems, and we started with the definition and need of NMT system, especially in Indian cities, that why should we go for, what is the need for NMT systems like cycle, and there are certain benefits like health benefits or environmental benefits, and also economically it is quite cheaper. So there are many benefits associated with these non-motorized transportation systems that we discussed, but although there are certain benefits, but there are certain issues faced by the user of to use the non-motorized transportations, like the infrastructure in the cities is still not adequate and properly developed for all class of vehicles, like it is not very friendly to children or the disabled people. So there are different problems. Apart from that, encroachment is one of the major issue, and also some design inconsistencies are there. These are some of the issues. Because of that, the NMT system is still not very much uh, very much useful as it should be. And then we discussed about different types of NMT modes, and we also discussed about the planning process, that there are generally 5 steps that are involved in the planning process of NMT system. First, we have to assess the current situation, that before developing a NMT system, we first have to assess the system, that it we discussed detailed about these 5 steps. And this in this assess step, we basically examine the city thoroughly, where the NMT provision can be given, or where it should be the most beneficial one. And we also discussed about that what are the objective of perform this assessment, and how this in the assessment step, how different datas are collected from different sources, and the usable and what should be the scale and scale of the NMT infrastructure, like whether how much area it should cover. These things were assessed in this assess step. Also, funding is one of the important aspect. So funding of the NMT infrastructure also done in this first assess step. Then after assess, we proceed to enable, thus which is the step 2, where we find if there is any policy from the policy perspective, is if there is any barriers, or how the plan how the delivery of the NMT system will be done, whether it will be built totally by some consultant, or government will build it. So there are different uh, perspective are analyzed in this enable step, which is step 2. Then we come to planning and design step, where we have to plan the NMT infrastructure in a detailed manner, and for that we have to do different surveys, and how should be the level of service, and based on that how much investment is required. These all things are done in the planning and design step. And after the planning and design, the best alternative is selected for designing the NMT system. And in the fourth step we have to there may be several alternatives, but we have to prioritize among different alternatives, so that the money can be utilized properly, and which with minimal cost the benefit will be maximized. So in this step we generally perform different analysis, like in net present worth or benefit cost ratio, economic analysis. These analyses are performed to understand that whether in a long run the investment is viable or beneficial or not. And after all these steps, last is implementation of this NMT infrastructure. So with this we have discussed about we have given a brief idea that how NMT infrastructure should be planned and implemented in a step-by-step manner, with considering the financial aspects also. So now let's move to the question answers. Question 1. Consider the following definition and choose the correct option. In the assess step, examine the city thoroughly and determine whether NMT interventions are needed. In the implement step, plan and design infrastructure based on gap assessment and stakeholders' view. Option 1 is correct, option 2 is incorrect, 1 is incorrect, 2 is correct, both are correct, or both are incorrect. These are the options. So as we were discussing, there are 5 steps for the planning for the NMT planning process. First is assess, where the city is thoroughly examined and where the NMT interventions are needed, that are assessed. So that is done in this assess step. So examine the city thoroughly and determine where the NMT infrastructure are needed. Then second step is enable, that envision a set of tasks to reach a predefined goal and build capacity of its stakeholder. So this is enable. And in the third step, plan and design, it is based on the gap assessment by stakeholders in the previous step, and based on that planning and design of the system is done. And next is exploring the possibility for financing the project, that comes under invest step. And last is implement, clearly define organizational responsibilities, that is the last one. So here it is saying that implement is the plan and design infrastructure based on gap assessment and stakeholders view, which is basically this plan and this enable step. So we were discussing the questions. This is the first question. Consider the following definitions and choose the correct option. You can post in the chat box also. So in this question, assess is examine the city thoroughly and determine where NMT interventions are needed. This one is correct, but implement is actually implementing the NMT infrastructure and by clearly defining the organizational roles and responsibilities. But here it is saying that plan and design infrastructure based on gap assessment and stakeholders view. So this is incorrect. Therefore option A is correct. 1 is correct and 2 is incorrect. Next is, what is the source of data on mode share and trip rates? Is it traffic police FIR, pollution control board, census, or comprehensive mobility plan of the city? So generally, to assess any situation, we need data, and for that, generally traffic police FIRs are content accident data. Pollution control board generally collects air quality or which are related to environment. These kind of data are collected by this pollution control board. Then census data is the how much population is there. These kind of data or some household detailed data that may be there with census department. And last is comprehensive mobility plan of the city. These can have the data on mode share or trip length or trip rate, this kind of data. We also discussed here that comprehensive mobility plan may have mode share data, trip length data, that which mode predominantly people are choosing. This kind of data we can get from comprehensive mobility plan. So option C will be the correct answer here. Next is, what type of sampling does this diagram represent? Simple random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, or clustered sampling? So here it is classifying 1, 3, 5, 7. These numbers are chosen from this total population. That is the odd one is chosen for each row. Mm, we actually discussed about four types of sampling strategies. Simple random sampling, where we pick up the sample on arbitrary basis, like there is a population and we are just randomly selecting some people. That is simple random sampling. This example of this is census sample survey. Then systematic sampling is in a particular systematic way we are doing the sampling, like sampling house on a street with odd house number. So where system is the odd house number, like this one, that 1 3 5 7, these houses are chosen in a particular system. So this is not random, like if it is 1 2 then 6 7 9 like that, then it might be simple random sampling. But here the 1 3 5 7, like there is a system in choosing, so it is systematic sampling. Then stratified sampling, like for a particular red blue green, uh, this is stratified sampling. And clustered sampling last, which is sampling from a particular area, or for a from a particular zone. This kind of sampling is cluster sampling. So here it will be systematic sampling. 4 is public bicycle sharing scheme is which type of intervention? Physical, traffic engineering, system based, or building code modification? So to improve or planning and designing a NMT infrastructure, there may be different interventions can be possible, where we can segregate this into different categories, like physical, policy, traffic engineering, system based, or others maybe. So physical is streetscape or sidewalk, cycle tracks. These kind of uh, are interventions are physical. Then policy is like congestion pricing, like for a particular time when the congestion is occurring, then the maybe people have to give some extra money as a toll to enter in a particular area or congested area, or for parking they have to pay some money. This kind of policy decision or some traffic engineering interventions we can do. And public bicycle sharing scheme is a system based intervention, where it is this bicycle sharing scheme is actually a system. So we can say it as a system based intervention. So option C will be the correct answer. Next is 3 NMT alternative were selected for a neighborhood to encourage the use of NMT. The transport planner has to select the best alternative based on the proposed cost as estimated by engineers, aesthetics, as judged by urban designers, and public opinion based on stakeholder survey. So based on these three, they have to take the decision. So you have to determine the best alternative for the neighborhood using weighted ranking method. Assume weight 3 is assigned to the cost and 2 is to the public opinion. So by default it will be multiplied by 2, and by default it will be multiplied by 3. So you can solve the question. I am giving some time, then I will discuss. So there are three criteria: cost is one, aesthetics is one, and public opinion is one. And in the question it is saying that assume weightage 3 is assigned to the cost and 2 is to the public opinion. And as there is nothing is said, so we will take the aesthetics as 1. So by default it will come as 3, 2 and 1. And the score, we know this formula that score for a particular alternative is the multiplication of rank of alternative and weighted criteria. So in this question the cost is 70, 140, 160. So we have to rank this. 160 is the worst, you can say, and 70 is the best. So we are ranking 1 to the worst. 160 is the worst, so 1. Then 70 is the best, which is 3, and in between we can give 2. Similarly, for good aesthetics, 50, 90 and 60 are the values, where 50 is the lowest, so we are assigning 1, rank 1 to this 50. Then for 60 it will be 2, and for 90 it will be 3. Similarly, for public opinion, for favorable, for unfavorable it is 1, neutral it is 2, and favorable it is 3. So now you have to, if you multiply this for a particular case, for a particular opinion, so it will come as 9, 1 and 4. So total, if you sum it, then it will come as 14, which is the score of a particular alternative. And then for option B, it if you sum all these values, then it will come as 15, and for C it will come as 3 plus 2 plus 2, so it will be 7. So option B is the highest, therefore option B will be the most favorable intervention. Next is, which type of scale of measurement is depicted in the following figure? So nominal scale is like some name, red, blue, green. Ordinal is there is some order, or like good, better, best, similar to that. Then interval is like from particular, like temperature. These kind of data are interval data, and ratio is where the like you can add, multiply, or every mathematical operation can be done with that kind of data. So this is actually ratio measurement is depicted in this figure. Next is, a public bicycle sharing system has the following demand curve. Determine the consumer surplus earned by decreasing the fare from 8 to 3 INR per kilometer. From 8 to 3, what will be the change of consumer surplus? So for consumer surplus from 8 to 3, so if you, for the 8, total will be this much portion, and for 3 that will be this much portion. So what is the surplus, which is it is the portion that is shaded in yellow here. So we to calculate the consumer surplus, we have to calculate the area of this portion, which is half into base is 70 minus 20, that is 50, and this height, which is 8 minus 3, which will be 5. So total, if you multiply this, 125 will be the correct answer. So in this question, 125 will be the correct answer. Next is, what is the correct step for NMT planning? These are the options. In the previous we have discussed this one, that first is assess, then a second step is enable, plan and design, invest and implementation. So assess, enable, plan and design, invest and implementation. Option C will be the correct answer. In which step of NMT planning policy barriers are identified and addressed? So in the second step, which is enable, here we identify and address the policy barriers. That what could be the there may be certain barriers, like there may be, in some cases we want to implement a bicycle a lane, but there may be policy in the city that people cannot ride the cycle in particular areas. So these kind of policy barriers we have to see in the enable step. So option B will be the correct answer. CMP focuses on which of the following? Transport, land use and development, urban service, environment. So CMP is basically comprehensive mobility plan, and it focuses on transport. There are other like city development plan or climate change plan. These short forms are given, and this CMP, which is comprehensive mobility plan, it is generally focuses on transport. So option A is the correct answer. The source of detailed base map data is questionnaire survey, primary survey, journal paper, satellite image. Yes, it is option D, satellite image is the correct answer. In the plan and design step, we have discussed about different data and sources, like documents or detailed map we need, detailed road inventory we need, and where we can find this type of data we discussed there. Then question 12, determine the sample size of respondents from a city of 1,30,000 people with 65,000 males and 65,000 female to understand the feeling of safety of using bicycles among residents. Consider confidence level of 95%, margin of error 5%, and standard deviation is 50%. You can take some time to calculate. and the Z value is 1.96. This is the formula we use to calculate the sample size. So this is the formula, and if you put the values, Z is 1.96, N is the population size, that is 1,30,000. Although it is saying that although in the question it is mentioned that male and female are 65,000 and they need to identify the feeling of safety, but it is also saying that using bicycles among residents means all 1,30,000 data will be used. In some cases they are, if specifically asked for male or female persons, then this sample size may be changed according to that. But in this case, as it is saying that for the feeling of safety of using bicycles among residents, therefore N will be 1,30,000. Population the population ratio is 0.5, population proportion 0.5, and 1 minus p, d is the mean error, so it is given as 5% margin of error, and n z 1.96, p is 0.5 again, so 384 will be the correct answer. And in these kind of questions where the sample size is very large, like more than 1 lakh or very large, for the very large sample size, generally if these type of values are given, that 95% confidence level or margin of error 5%, then near to 384 always comes. Like if you take any values, but it will ultimately come near 384 if provided that the confidence interval confidence level is 95% or margin of error is 5%. So option B is correct, 384 here. Which of these is not a NMT transport? It is D, right? Motorbike, because walking, bicycling, rickshaw, these all are non-motorized. Then accept or reject statement. Mobility is the ability of users to move to reach destination. Yes, the statement will be accepted. Mobility is the ability of users to move or reach destination. Next is, using the table, find out for the city A what is the change in the work trips, and change in the bicycle trips. In 1992 the work trip is 17.7 number of trips, and in 1996 it is 18. So, and for bicycle it is 18.1 to 18.6. Now we need to find the change in the work trip and bicycle trip. You can find it by 1996 value minus 1992 value divided by 1996 value into 100. You will get. Yes, option A will be the correct answer. So 1996 value for work trip is 18.5, 1992 value is 17.7 divided by 96 value 18.5 into 100, so it will come as 4.32, and for similarly for bicycle it will come as 2.68. Next is, 3 NMT alternatives were selected for a neighborhood to encourage more people using NMT. The transport planner has to select the best alternative based on increased safety and reduced emission, improved health quality. So these are three things: annual savings in, and determine the best alternative for the neighborhood using benefit cost ratio if the economic life for the project is considered to be 20 years and I is 2.5, that is the interest rate. So yeah, the best alternative we have to select based on safety, which can be which can be depicted from annual savings in accident, then reduced emission, annual emission saving is given, and improved health quality, which is also given. But there are some cost associated, which is annual maintenance cost and a one-time cost of construction, which is this one, C0. This is construction cost, so it is one time, but these four are repeated for 20 years. So calculating it might be time consuming. We generally follow the for a benefit cost ratio, this formula is followed, and here the benefits are this annual savings in accident, annual emission saving, and annual health savings. So these all are benefits, so these are comes under positive for this numerator. And annual maintenance cost is negative because it is the money is we have to spend, so minus 2500. And I is given as 2.5%, so that is 0.025 for 20 years, so n will be 20, this n will be 20. And the cost of construction is constant, which is 50,000. So this is the cost, and benefit will be this one. And if you divide the benefit, and if you calculate the benefit by cost ratio for alternative A, it will come as 2.09. For B, similarly, the benefits are added, and the recurrent cost, which is the maintenance cost, it will subtracted. And if you calculate, and this interest rate has been considered because the 20 years the value of money will not be the same, so it is converted for the base year, and uh, it will be the benefit, total benefit, and here 70,000 is the total cost, so the benefit will be 1.95, and for the third option it will be coming as 2.90. So as the benefit by cost ratio corresponding to option C is the highest, so alternative C is the best alternative. Option C will be the correct answer. Next is accept or reject statement. Interval data is most superior form of data. There are actually four type of data: nominal, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. For any data, the nominal will be some name like red, blue, green. These type of data are in just the name, so no mathematical operation like plus, minus, or multiplication or divide, anything cannot be possible in this type of data. Ordinal is some ranking like good, better, best, this kind of ranking. So ordinal data also, these mathematical operations cannot be performed. This then interval, in interval data it is like temperature, you can add or subtract, but you cannot multiply or divide two datas. So uh, only these two operations can be done, addition or subtraction. And for the ratio data, all the options are available, like you can add, subtract, multiply, or divide in this type of data. So ratio data is said to be the most superior form of data, ratio data. So this option will be rejected. So these are the answers, and that's all for this week. We'll again meet on next Monday. Thank you. And
Sir, I have one doubt.
yes,
Actually, I joined later to this course.
yes,
So I have started my assignment from assignment 4.
okay.
So am I eligible for exam?
Yes, I think if is there the date is still not like still not closed, right? Do you get any
No,
mail?
I have registered there. I just want to know ki how many assignments I should submit so that I'll be allowed for exam.
I
Is
think
there any assignment number?
yeah, there is some weightage given to the assignment. I am not sure for this course, but in some other courses we follow that out of maybe 12 assignment, the best 8 assignment numbers are taken, like that generally followed. That there are some weightage in assignment, but there are a lot of weightage in the exam, final exam. So if you registered for the exam, then you can definitely give the exam. But I am not
Okay.
sure what is the weightage for this course for the assignment. But you can definitely give the
Okay.
exam.
Okay. Okay. It's not like if I have to provide 8 exams, 8 assignments
To eligible for the.
within 12 assignment to get eligibility to sit in the exam. It's not like this, na?
I don't think it is like that. Otherwise, it would have been mentioned that you have to submit this number of assignment. But there are generally the weightage. There is some weightage assigned to the assignment, so that marks you may that marks may be deducted for you. That is
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
if you have any doubt, you can also post in the Q&A forum. There maybe the team which look after these queries, they can also give a better answer maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
if you have any doubt, then you can stay. Otherwise, you may also leave.
Thank you, sir. I have one doubt. Like
Yeah.
this presentation will be available in that Swayam portal.
Yes, it is available in the Swam portal. It is actually there in the like week 4, week 5, and in below that there is a problem solving session. Like just a minute.
Okay.
Uh, if you open this Swam portal, I think
Okay.
yeah, I forgot my password. I guess. Let's see.
Okay. No,
There,
no. Don't
there.
take trouble. I will find it out, sir. I'll
There you
find
can
it out.
definitely find that there will
Okay.
be a link, and it will be
Okay.
similar to this
Okay.
one, and
Understood.
the
Right.
presentations are given in
Okay.
this folder, and YouTube link of these sessions are also uploaded there.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
oh.